Did I need more books? No. Did I buy more books? Of course I did. What do you expect for somebody who cannot help themselves? So I've been wanting to do this for a few days and haven't got around to it. We've had COVID in our house this week, so February into March 23. I'm not feeling great, so if I have to stop and start choking, that's because COVID's gone to my chest. But I thought, because I can't go anywhere, I'd make a video or two. So I have realised that one of my flaws is my ability to buy things and to be persuaded to buy things, or to be tempted, that's the right word. And I like nosing around places, I like seeing what's available, and recently I've become very keen on the idea of exploring second-hand bookshops to see what exciting things they have to hold, and basically being disappointed. Anyway, the other weekend, start of my kids' half-term break, so here in the UK in February, kids get a week off, and so hubby suddenly said, let's just go out for lunch. We went over, I live not far from Liverpool, so we went over to Liverpool, and not that you need to know all this, but I like giving you background and I like rabbiting on. But we found ourselves in a place we've been before, but it's basically called the Baltic Food Market. So there's a massive brewery site which has various new bars, clubs, restaurants and other things within some of the buildings that they don't use anymore. And in one of the buildings they've got this kind of food market, so there's lots of stalls around the edge with different types of food, and there's drinks, and in the evenings they do like activities and they do events. And on this particular afternoon they had like an open mic, so there were live singers, and we had a really nice lunch. Kids, like, you know, it meant that we could get food. My daughter can be a bit fussy, so she got a pizza, and then my husband and I got some Chinese, and my son had a burger. You didn't need to know that. Anyway, I had seen a few times about a place that was on the same site, but it had recently moved, and it's called the Red Brick Market, and it's moved from one warehouse to another, and basically it's the kind of place where they've divided it up into lots of little stalls, and people can book and have their own little shop there. So I don't know what you call it, you know, I mean, obviously it's a market, but it's not, it basically, yeah, there's lots of little stalls, little shops. There's a bit kind of eccentric stalls, some of them are esoteric, some of them are gothy. It's a real mix. Some of them are people who are artists. So we went to have a look, because it's only recently opened in the new site, so it's still being done up, but it was so cool. There were little stalls with witchy goods. So one stall had like tarot decks and kind of household wear in that in sort of witch style, and that there were crystal stores, there were bookstores, antique stores, there was kids' clothes. It was just all sorts. It was a real mixture of stuff. And it was just nice to have a meander around. My son found himself another crystal necklace. He's really big into crystals. My daughter found herself a mad, fluffy bucket hat thing. And then I was like, meh, the stuff, but I'm not that fussed. And then as we came round the bend, towards the end, there was a stall, and they had loads of second-hand books. So I started having a nosy, and found myself a few books to buy, and I was a bit naughty because I bought 3. To be perfectly honest, I nearly bought at least another 2, one on dragons and one on something else, but I didn't. So I thought I'd show you what I got, because I'm really pleased with them. As I say, probably didn't need them, but at least 2 of them were a definite bargain, for sure. So the first one I'll just show you here. So this is the Caitlin and John Matthews Arthurian Book of Days. So I've not seen this. Now, having done some research afterwards, I probably could have got it cheaper online. I think this is one. So when it retailed, it was £17.99 British. They were selling it for a fiver, which is really okay. To be honest, I think I've seen it for a very similar price online. But I'm really happy, and one of the reasons I picked this up is because I've recently bought the Arthurian Tarot and the new version, the purple box set, and I'm really big on kind of British myths and legends, and I've always liked the stories of things like Arthur and Merlin and stuff. And basically, if you don't know this book, it pretty much divides the story of Arthur into the days of the month. So today is the 3rd of March 2023, and so basically here you get like a paragraph, and this is actually about Joseph of Arimathea and the Holy Grail. From what I gather, it's like they're different stories as well. So if, for example, to be honest, I haven't got round to reading much of it, I could pick up the story in March and not worry about what I've missed, or I can choose to read it, but I just thought it was a really cool way of doing it, and it's a really beautifully illustrated book. It's quite small print. I don't have a problem with that, but some people might. And it's really lovely. At the back, it's got a list as well of all the different stories. So this actually is a list of the stories in the order they happened. In fact, you can actually go and find the first story, and you can do it chronologically rather than doing it by the dates in the book. And then, so that was cool. That was £5 British. And so that's really nice to say. It's a hardback book as well. And it's nice to support like a second-hand bookshop. And then these two, and to be honest, these are the two that I'm most impressed. So this is Brian Froud's Goblins. To be honest, I was only going to get the other two, and saw this. Most of you probably watching this are aware of Brian Froud, but he did a lot of the artwork for the film Labyrinth with David Bowie. The puppets in that are based on his art. He also, I have his Fairies Oracle, and there's the Heart of Fairy Oracle, and his books can be quite hard to come by. Now, I have looked online, and this particular book is only available second hand, and on Amazon it was at least £30. It's not very easy to come by. So this is basically, it's an anthology of goblins. It's quite fun the way it's produced. As I say, it's about £30. This was £8. So it was a little bit more. But because I know that a lot of the Froud books can be quite hard to come by, this one was copyrighted from 2004. And basically, it's got all this stuff about the goblins. I have started reading it. We went back and had a coffee in the food market, and I started looking at it then. So it's got like the plates of the character pictures. I don't know if you can see that. Apologies, the light is not great today. And then it gives you the name and tells you a little bit about them. And really, it is literally, as you can see, it is literally just about all these different characters and all the goblins. And then it's got this bit about Goblin Almanac, so it's curiosities of the goblins. There's all these little kind of bits, so it's really cool. And then here excuse me, and it just carries on. So I thought that was a real bargain. Apologies the way I get my camera set up, I just keep going in front of it. But so that was £8, and it as far as I'm aware, that one's harder to come by, which is why it jumped out at me on the page. So that's quite nice, and it's the kind of one you can dip in and out of. And then I got another tarot, basic beginner's tarot book. So don't suppose I really needed this. I've got several tarot books. I've got a tarot Bible. I've got Tina Gong's tarot book of Labyrinthus. That was my first one that I love. I've got things like The Easiest Way to Learn Tarot, 78 Degrees of Wisdom. One of my favourites actually is my excuse me, here we go again, Tea Break Tarot School book by Fiona Beth Phillips. So to be honest, I probably didn't need a book. I've got a couple on my Kindle app as well that were amazing price or on offer. But I have seen this referenced by a few people online as a good beginner book, and I need new ways to sort of enhance my learning at the moment. And when I looked online after getting it, I think even secondhand, the cheapest I found, it was in the region of £10. And this was actually £4. Now, whoever had it last has done some underlining in pencil, but that really doesn't bother me because I do that myself anyway. And it's the Joan, sorry, I should have said it's the Joan Bunning Learning the Tarot book. As I say, it's one that I know people have referenced as being quite good for beginners. And so I just picked it up because for £4, I thought it was a really good price. What I quite like is her exercises. I have got Dusty White's Easiest Way to Learn Tarot, and I actually don't get on with that. I find that there's so much build up to the point of where you actually do anything. But this has got some really cool little exercises that looked much better, a lot easier to manage. So I'm quite looking forward to getting into this. It also, again, like most books, it has some stuff, but she also does some stuff here about opposing and reinforcing cards. And what I quite like as well is the fact that there are some, I think, there's quite a lot of stuff about pairing cards. And then, if I'm right, there's things about like pairs of meanings, and there's lots of things about qualities of the suits and things like that. A little kind of examples of readings, which I thought was really good, that not many books do that. A lot of books kind of give you all these ideas of things to do, but don't actually show you how it uses in practice. And that's something I realised yesterday. I got one of my decks out that I got on a Kickstarter, and I was trying to decide, I haven't really worked with it at all, and I was trying to decide whether I'm just going to sell it and not bother. And I got it out and I thought, I really like it. And I think my problem is there that I didn't really know, I don't know what to do with it. So I quite like the fact I've got a book which gives examples and ideas, not just do this exercise or here's what I think about a card or something. But it just kind of says, well, if you did this, then this is what I did in that situation. And I think that's kind of useful. So I'm hoping that'll be quite, this should be quite a good little, I'm hoping this should be quite a good little book to work through. Since I've got it, I've not had much time. Work was really busy, and then I've been ill. But yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, so some of it's underlined, but it's only in pencil, so I could rub that out very easily. But yeah, so really short little snippet video. Might not be interested, but some bargain books I got recently, and I'm definitely on the lookout for more cool books at second-hand shops, because I like the idea of, you know, giving things a new home rather than just buying new all the time. I'm going to head off before I have a massive coughing fit. I hope you're all well, or better than me, and take care, and I'll see you all soon.